Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Poland has filed a complaint with the European Commission against Germany in relation to illegally imported waste. This is the first step towards proceedings before the European Court of Justice. It was under the Civic Platform and PSL governments that the regulations which set the rules for importing and issuing decisions on waste management in Poland were liberalised.
Up to 35,000 tons of illegal waste has been dumped in Poland. The garbage was brought from Germany to landfills, mainly western Poland. We are filing a complaint to the European Commission, which is the first stage of the proceedings before the Court of Justice. At the same time, we are appealing to our German partner, the very green German government, to take away the German garbage. The Polish taxpayer cannot pay for it. According to the Ministry of Climate and Environment, 1,300 tons of German waste is backlogged in Gliwice, 8,700 tons in the village of Sarbia in Greater Poland, and nearly 20,000 tons in the border town of Tuplice in Lubuskie region. They were de facto transported and dumped on Polish territory. Then the state is responsible for this trash, which was taken out of its territory by the company and must take this waste away. The European Commission will have 3 months to issue a relevant analysis and opinion on the case. This is the first stage of the complaint procedure. In the next step, Poland will have the option of filing a complaint with the European Court of Justice. Germany is trying to get out of this obligation, and despite attempts to settle the matter amicably, there has been no positive response from the German side. This dialogue has been going on for a long time. Deputy head of the Ministry of Climate and Environment, Jacek Ozdoba, recalled that it was under the Civic Platform government that regulations on the import of municipal waste were liberalized. At that time, almost 6 million tons of garbage were imported into Poland. The Law and Justice government, on the other hand, tightened regulations, and as a result, Poland has the most restrictive, in this respect, law in Europe. Until 2016, the Civic Platform government created such a law that you had to inform the entrepreneur 7 days in advance that you were undertaking an inspection. It was as if we informed the criminal that in a week's time we would be on Saturday and we would look at whether or not he had committed a crime. We abolished this, and today the inspection goes in when it wants. Assisted by the police, we inspect, we use drones and camera traps. Under the Civic Platform, it was not allowed to use camera traps and drones. It should be clearly pointed out that there are a lot of problems here. Without the cooperation of local governments, often the cooperation of local governments among themselves, it will be very difficult to combat this problem. According to international law experts, Poland has a legitimate reason to demand compensation and the removal of the waste. The dumping of this garbage has certain effects, not only on the landscape, but also results in soil poisoning, groundwater poisoning, and also other consequences related to animal habitat. According to the Polish Criminal Code, importing garbage from abroad and abandoning it is punishable by up to 12 years imprisonment. The fine for the National Environmental Protection Fund is 10 million zloty for an individual and up to 5 million zloty for the entire company. They raise their hands and say that now it's Germany, but just let them get to work. This complaint is also meant to be informative for people who today think that just because someone uses beautiful ecological slogans or maybe belongs to a green party, that's enough to care about the environment. No, often the opposite is true when it comes to actions. On Saturday, a fire broke out at a landfill in a warehouse in Przylep near Zielona Góra. The building, covering several hundred square meters, contained hazardous chemical waste. This is a situation that shows how dangerous these places are. Unfortunately, there is no shortage of these places in Poland, and this is also such a legacy of the activities of the garbage mafias, which in a certain period of time in Poland, we can say they had a real El Dorado. Germany exported 745,000 tons of plastic waste abroad in 2022. This is data from the Federal Statistical Office. This amount gives Germany the infamous first place in waste exports in the European Union and third place in the world.
During a conversation between the two dictators of Belarus and Russia, Lukashenko suggested to Putin that the Wagner Group soldiers who are currently in Belarus wanted to take a trip to Warsaw and Rzeszów. The 11th column of Russian mercenaries has now arrived in Belarus and armoured vehicles were spotted in the column. The column, which was headed towards the town of Osipovice in central Belarus, included about 30 vehicles, including Chekan armoured vehicles. Chekans are such trucks, armoured vehicles, such a locally Russian equivalent of the US MRAP, mine-resistant vehicles, so they are armoured vehicles to provide protection for the personnel being transported. In fact, it's not even a worthy opponent for Polish armoured personnel characters, such as the Wolverine. According to unofficial data, there are already about 3,500 soldiers stationed in the village of Sel, although according to Ukrainian border guards, there may be many more mercenaries. It is not out of the question that the Russian-Belarusian plan is to destabilize the situation on the border and create a situation in which it will be necessary to react very quickly. After a failed putsch allegedly took place in Russia in late June, Wagner mercenary troops, along with their leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, moved to Belarus. In the course of this war, he has shown that he is not a great, powerful leader before whom everyone should bow their heads. Only in the case of Ukraine, they put up a valiant resistance, and it turned out that Putin can also be a weak politician. On Sunday, the Belarusian president met the leader of the Kremlin regime. During the conversation, Lukashenko suggested to Putin that the Wagner troops fancy a trip to Poland. The Wagner guys have started to stress, allow us to go to the west. I said, why do you need to go to the west? We're silently watching what is going on. Well, we'll go for a sightseeing tour to Warsaw and Rzeszów. Rzeszów is unpopular among them. Just a few days ago, the Belarusian army began exercises near the Polish border. Mercenaries from the Wagner group participated as instructors in the training, which took place at a training ground near Brest. We must keep our finger on the pulse. We have to check satellite images. Nevertheless, we have units that have reinforced the forces in the Podlasha region. We should expect more, a hybrid attack, of which Lukashenko already has experience. In view of the threat, the Ministry of Defence has decided to reinforce the troops stationed in the east. In 2023, Poland will allocate about 4% of its GDP to finance some military and purchase modern military equipment. We are getting more soldiers. This is faster than last year's plans. We now have 175,000 soldiers in uniform. Also, I'm talking about the territorial defence forces. At a NATO summit in July, member states approved the first defence plan for a Russian invasion since the Cold War.
Our alliance with Poland is strong. Poland is a NATO member, of course, and we will defend, if necessary, every inch of NATO territory.
According to preliminary assumptions on implementing Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty, the alliance is to be prepared to deploy up to 100,000 troops within 10 days of an attack on any member country. In the past week, southern Europe has been struggling with massive wildfires, including Greece and Italy. Fires have now broken out in Croatia, where they are consuming forests and approaching Dubrovnik on Croatia's Adriatic coast. The firefighting operations across Europe are hampered by hot weather and strong winds.
Fires have been raging in Greece for a week now. The fire is spreading not only in the mainland, but also on the islands of Rhodes, Corfu, and Obeya. The largest evacuation of the population in Greek history is underway due to the wildfires. More than 20,000 tourists have been evacuated from Rhodes alone. About 500 firefighters from all over Europe, including a brigade from Poland, are helping the Greeks fight the elements. The firefighters of GFFFV Poland operate in the Attica region. This is the northwest wing of Athens. They supervise 2 zones, extinguish the burnt-out areas and raging fires that occur in the zones, and carry out reconnaissance with firefighting trucks and all-terrain vehicles. The biggest dangers are, of course, the extreme temperatures, low humidity of both air and materials. Here I'm talking about the trees, vegetation, but also strong gusts of wind.
I don't know. We wait what we see from the governors. We don't expect anything big, you know. But we wait now. We want to finish the fire. First, this is the problem. We want the fire stop. Not other house burn, not other restaurant, not other fields. You know, I do 2 jobs. One is the restaurant, and the other I'm farmer. In my farmer, all my fields, it's now it's nothing, just black.
Yeah, we evacuated the village. Now some houses are on fire, and we came down here. We don't know what to do. That's the situation. Now the fire is going from the other village, Gennady, to Vati, and it's on fire 5 days now. And They have no control of the fire. We need help, so anybody from outside hearing, send help us. Our houses maybe not be there tomorrow, maybe an hour. Are on fire, we don't know what to do.
In addition to Greece and Croatia, residents of other southern European and North African countries, including Spain, Portugal, Tunisia, Turkey, and Algeria, are also battling the wildfires. Extreme weather events have divided Italy. Sicily experienced 46 Celsius degree heat, while northern Italy was hit by hailstorms with record-breaking 19-centimeter diameter balls of ice.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business, and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.